Now at 10, the latest on the case of a teenager who was charged after a double fatal motorcycle crash over the weekend in Joplin. Plus, the old Joplin Library building has a new story to tell and a new owner. And KOAM's Anthony Saviello takes us to a petting zoo with some animals you don't see often in the 4 states.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The old Joplin Library on Main Street has a new owner and they have some big plans. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more as the former library begins a new chapter.
The Creative Learning Alliance sees a future in the empty old library. They hope this empty space will soon become a space of learning and fun.
Those are going to come with money, with a price tag attached. So we're working on our capital campaign so that we can make some of those a reality. But everything will be hands-on. Everything will be learning, and everything, most importantly, will be fun, because that's the job of childhood, is fun.
As the new owners, the Creative Learning Alliance plans to build an interactive science center. Once built, they're expecting to attract more than 80,000 curious minds.
It is right in the heart of downtown Joplin. It's got high visibility. It's a big open space, so we can build our science center the way we want it within these walls without having to do as much as you might have to in a building with more walls than this.
This building has been here for a number of years now, and we wanted something positive to happen, and today, something positive is happening.
Multiple organizations were interested in buying and remodeling the old library, but most negotiations fell through. Now, with the new ownership under the Creative Learning Alliance,
that's a burden off of the taxpayer.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The Creative Alliance says they hope the Science Center is going to be running by 2025, but it depends on donations and grants. Nice weather out there overall. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it was a great day outside for us today compared to the past couple days. High temps near 100 today. 86 started at 60, right where we should be for this time of the year. And temperature is very nice for us right now. 67 in Stockton, 72 in Anderson. Grand Lake 71, Pittsburgh a little bit cooler at 66 degrees, but it looks great. We have clear skies out there, and we're going to see clear skies as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Into the morning hours, dropping to 60, back to 75 by 10 a.m. So a nice night, a little bit hotter tomorrow. High temps right around 90. We are going to get some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night into Friday morning, and then we are going to cool back down a bit as we get into early next week. So we're going to cover all this, all coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. An update on the deadly crash involving 3 motorcycles in Joplin Saturday evening. 18-year-old Colton Goddard of Welch, Oklahoma today pled not guilty to charges of resisting arrest by fleeing and operating a vehicle in a careless manner. Authorities say Goddard and 20-year-old Taryn Morris of Miami were driving motorcycles at 80 to 100 miles per hour on North Main Street in Joplin Saturday night. Police say even after they abandoned a chase, the two continued speeding away, running multiple red lights. Their motorcycles crashed with another motorcycle driven by 60-year-old Mark McGowan of Miami, Oklahoma, as McGowan was driving out of a convenience store parking lot. Morris and McGowan both died in that crash. One woman has died from injuries she suffered from a hit-and-run driver while changing a tire in northeast Oklahoma. That collision happened around 9 Labor Day evening, 2 miles east of Grove, Oklahoma. Troopers say 2 women were changing a flat tire when they were struck by a passing vehicle. That suspect vehicle continued westbound. It's unknown at this time. One woman, Angela McManus, has since died of her injuries. The other woman, Chandra Gandert, was transported to a local hospital in guarded condition with multiple injuries. And in Joplin, authorities report a hit and run involving an SUV and a bicycle. That happened around 10:30 this morning near the 1600 block of East 7th Street. Authorities say an eastbound black SUV struck a man on a bike, then left the scene. The man suffered non-life-threatening injuries, but was taken to an area hospital. Freeman Health System is trying to make treatment easier for patients going through dialysis. Freeman's Nephrology and Dialysis Center is hosting its Patient Engagement Days. It's an annual celebration with this year's event themed cowboy and western. It featured a barbecue, line dancing, prizes, and booths providing health resources.
You know, that we would have to find them, they would have to come to us, and we would find that for them. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what to ask for sometimes. So this gets all of these different companies in front of our patients.
That celebration continues tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is the 10th year of the Patient Engagement Days. Today is Hump Day, so it's fitting that KOAM's Anthony Saviello brings us a story about camels in southeast Kansas.
A drive north of Pittsburgh on Highway 69 may not have much in terms of sightseeing, but if you're lucky, you may spot the Kramer farm. At first glance, it looks like your average, everyday farm, with cows, chickens, donkeys, and maybe a guard dog or two. However, there's one creature this farm has that makes it unique. Camels.
My favorite saying is that I was born strange and never changed.
Jim Kramer, along with his wife Nancy, provide a home for 12 camels and many other fun and exotic species. At 65, surrounded by such unique animals, Jim feels like a kid again.
We spend a lot of time with them. I mean, I spend a lot of time all year. I let them out here in the yard, some of them, and you know, they come up to me when I'm sitting in the chair, and you know, they lick on me, and you know, I pet them, and we just, you know, kind of, it's just a love thing. I mean, they know I feed them, and I think they know I care about them.
Caring for these animals is all Jim has ever done. A gesture that is not taken for granted by these amazing creatures. But the animals are just one part of what fills Jim's heart. It's also what his animals do for people in the community.
I went up to the boys and got the pigeon out, you know, and they wouldn't pet it. And I said, well, come with me and I'll show you something neat. A little later in the afternoon, both them boys were in there feeding every animal in the pen. And mother come up to me and thanked me. And, you know, that just made it all worthwhile.
These animals are a part of the Jim Kramer way of life. A life that will always be exotic and filled with joy. Whether it's camels, llamas, or even a kangaroo, these animals create the perfect life for Jim and Nancy. Reporting in Crawford County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Now, the Kramers want to note their farm is private property, and to ensure the well-being of their animals, they ask that people not pull over or enter the farm. You can, however, ask the Kramers to bring the petting zoo out to an event. We're going to give you details on how you can book their business on our website. And it's not only Hump Day, it's also a very happy birthday to Anthony's dad. Happy birthday, John. Coming up, the summer of our discontent continues as record-breaking heat bakes parts of the country. Plus, one business in Joplin wants to make sure Chiefs fans can show their pride in time for the game night.
How do you measure success?
Miami, Oklahoma.
The National Weather Service says the record-breaking heat wave is going to continue to bake parts of the east through tomorrow, and unforgiving and dangerous heat in Texas and nearby states will linger through the upcoming weekend. Reporter Christian Benavides reports on the late summer heat wave.
It's brutal. I think the best way to put it. It's not fun to be outside.
Maryland resident Karis Davis and her dog Theo aren't taking any chances in the late summer heat wave.
Not outside in this heat longer than 10-20 minutes at a time.
Across large parts of the nation, September is feeling a lot more like August. With the temperature topping 90 degrees in New York City, the heat is a worry for Emily Rodriguez, who has asthma.
It's just like when I come out, as soon as I take that first breath of air, I can feel it in my chest.
Environmental justice advocates say a lack of green space in Rodriguez's South Bronx neighborhood only makes matters worse.
The environment has more pavement, more trucks, and more pollutants and surfaces that retain heat.
So then it makes it harder for those neighborhoods to even cool down at nighttime.
Early in the school year, some districts are calling early dismissals because classrooms don't have enough air conditioning, or in some cases, any AC.
During the whole school day, I was sweating.
It's so humid. The cafeteria is like this huge cafeteria. There's no air at all.
The National Weather Service says temperatures are more than 10 degrees higher than normal.
We are seeing more heat waves. This does have an impact on human health and on air quality.
The extreme heat in the U.S. comes as the United Nations says the Earth just experienced its hottest summer on record. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
174 million Americans sweltered in hotter than usual temperatures today, with 160 million broiling in the 90s or above. A little bit later, Special Olympics tees up a golf tournament featuring some special guests.
Plus, we do have some more thunderstorms in the forecast we have to discuss. We're going to do that coming up.
You're at Johnson Floor & Home's Labor Day sale.
At Westco Home Furnishings.
Well, it turned out to be a much better day for us today. We weren't near 100 like we have seen over the past couple days. High temps into the mid 80s, which, hey, we'll definitely take. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Clear skies. We're going to continue to have clear skies as we go through tonight and tomorrow, but it's going to be a hazy clear skies. The visibility has dropped a little bit due to the smoke outside. So if you were outside this evening, it was a red sunset or reddish and very hazy outside. You can even smell it in spots. But the smoke, this is from Canadian wildfires. We had a cold front that dropped through yesterday. So we have a northerly wind, so it drags it down from Canada. Still going to be present out there once again as we go into tomorrow. All right, look at our temps over the past couple days. Near 100 yesterday. Today, quite a bit better. Into the mid 80s for highs. Currently outside, we're sitting into the mid to upper 60s to near 70. So if you don't mind the smokiness in the atmosphere, you can open up your windows tonight. We're going to drop back upper 50s to near 60. 69, but look at this. Usually we have a visibility of 10 miles. It's down to 6 miles because of that haziness outside. We'll drop back to 60 sunshine in the morning, back to 75 by 10 a.m. Clear skies currently for us. There's not much going on across the Central Plains. Here's our next little wave building northern parts of the Rockies. That will give us chances for showers and thunderstorms late tomorrow night into Friday morning. So let's go ahead. We're going to step through time for us tonight, upper 50s to near 60. So a nice cool start. We rebound lower 80s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, we'll stop at 4:30. Near 90 in our western counties, everybody else 88 to about 90 degrees. Tomorrow night, again, we're going to drop back into the mid 60s, but look at this, scattered showers and thunderstorms erupting. I don't think they're going to be near as strong as what we had last night, which is good, but we are going to have a few thunderstorms out there into Friday morning. So here's 9 a.m. on Friday. Once we pass the noon hour, any thunderstorms out there, they're going to be gone. Temperatures mainly into the upper 80s. Day planner for you tomorrow, 60 to start, 82 by noon, 88 by 4. High temp of 90 degrees. And if you're heading north tomorrow night, of course, Arrowhead, the first game of the season against Detroit Lions kicks off at 7:20. So if you are heading up there, if you're going to do a little bit of tailgating, 4, 5, 6 p.m., we're going to hold into lower 80s. Game time will drop through the 70s by the end of the game, upper 60s. The winds are going to be light, clear skies, except that hazy smoke that we are going to see outside for the next couple days. All right, let's go 90 tomorrow, 89 on Friday. Morning thunderstorms. Weekend looks good, a pair of 88s. 80 on Monday, some thunderstorms, and then only 79 Tuesday, high 78 on Wednesday. So we're getting slowly a little more fallish outside.
Lows in the 50s.
I know. Oh, we're going to be in the
now?
50s tomorrow morning, down to 59.
Wow, that's not a typo. It's good news.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Special Olympic athletes teamed up with a partner for some serious fun and competition on the golf course today. The event, called Unified Golf, saw each pair 5 holes with a 10-stroke limit. According to Unified Sports, teams need to emphasize the principle of meaningful involvement, which ensures every member is presented with opportunities to contribute to their team's performance, whether they're Special Olympics athletes or unified athletes. For all athletes involved, building relationships means the most.
Today is really all about that inclusion aspect, all about building relationships, all about socialization. I feel like it is just as important for the athletes and their partners, both of them individually, because it gives them a space and a realm to really build those connections with each other.
The next event for Special Olympics, the Duck and Jeep Derby at Gorilla Village, happens this Saturday starting at 9 a.m. Brock here now. The 4 states today got a taste of Red Wednesday earlier today.
Yeah, Red Wednesday instead of Red Friday with the Chiefs coming up. A local restaurant in Joplin was selling Chiefs Super Bowl flags, the Ronald McDonald Charity House, and softball conference game between Nevada and Seneca. We'll have the highlights from that game next in sports.
Of the year at Johnson Floor & Homes Labor Day sale.
I like it.
Timberland Furniture in Joplin.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs won Super Bowl 57 approximately 206 days ago in Glendale, Arizona. Now the Chiefs look to defend that title as we are only 1 day away from their season opener against the Detroit Lions.
No, definitely, man. We all ready to roll. We work so hard, coming in day by day, not knowing what position, whatever coach asks us, I know we're prepared and we're ready to attack it.
Obviously very exciting, kicking off the season, first game, home game. There can be a lot of distractions for this game. So really our focus is just on the game. That's our sole focus right now, is just preparing to go out there and play the way we play football.
And the Chiefs released their injury report on Wednesday afternoon. There's certainly more questions than answers regarding multiple players' health statuses heading into Week 1. Some notable names on this list for the Chiefs, along with a lot of knee injuries here. Richie James, L'Jarius Sneed, Kadarius Toney, Trayshawn Wharton were all limited in practice earlier this week. But out of all those players, they had a full practice on Wednesday. And of course, the biggest name on this list in the bottom is Travis Kelce, who did not practice on Wednesday due to his hyperextended knee, which happened after Tuesday's practice. So the Chiefs have officially listed Travis Kelce as questionable for Thursday's game against Detroit. Speaking of the Chiefs, Red Wednesday comes down to the 4 states as Gringos in Joplin sold 500 flags. The event started at 2 p.m. as the Chiefs Super Bowl flags were available. First come, first served, so you had to be there in person. Each flag was sold for $5 a piece.
I love it, going to the game on game days, especially the roar, the sounds you hear, the noise, and you see the players out there telling us to get louder, and it just gives you goosebumps. Got goosebumps now.
The money, all that was raised, goes to Ronald McDonald House Charities. Some local softball action happening this afternoon as Nevada travels to Seneca to open the conference season. Seneca is looking for their first win of the year. As for Nevada, they look to keep the win streak going. Big 8 softball matchup between the Seneca Indians and the Nevada Tigers. In the circle for Seneca is Abby Jamros. She gets the hitter looking there with the runners on the first. And the next inning, swing and a miss here. And then Jamros is going to get the hitter caught looking there for the strikeout. So not only can Jamros pitch, but she can also hit as well. In the second, Seneca trails 2-0 as Jamros gets a good piece of it, and it's a ground rule double. But Nevada's able to get out of the jam, so it's the Tigers' turn to hit now. Peyton Eaton, with the bases loaded, hits this hard, and that one bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. 2 runs coming to score. The Tigers lead 4-0. Next batter at the plate, Ella Heathman hits this one off of the fence, and she'll clear the rest of the bases. Heathman's going to turn this into an RBI triple. It's 6-0 Nevada, and the Tigers go on to win this one big, 15-3. The Tigers have now won 8 games in a row. Something that's not been said too often this season is, well, the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals are both coming off back-to-back wins. The Cardinals are on the road tonight In the South, taking on the Atlanta Braves, St. Louis can win the series with a win tonight, and they do just that as the Cardinals defeat the Braves 11-6. Nolan Gorman hit a big 3-run homer in this game in the 8th inning to help the Cardinals pull away. The Kansas City Royals now are at home tonight, taking on the Chicago White Sox. The Royals are looking for the sweep after winning last night's game off a balk. So the Royals trying to make the most of it, trying to make another comeback, but they fall short yet again. Kansas City loses this game 6-4. However, Nelson Velasquez and Edward Olivares each hit 2 homers in this game. And Dow, I don't know how your fantasy team's looking, but I hope you didn't take Travis Kelce.
I don't have a fantasy team because I'm just a diehard Chiefs fan, and it's hard for me to root against the interests of my team or for anything. If I had a fantasy team, it would all be Chiefs players anyway.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Some officers with the St. Louis County Police Department took advantage of the end of the pool season to give their canines water training, as you can see by this video released by the department today. The officers took the canines to the River Rapids Water Park in St. Genevieve to practice water rescues and apprehension techniques. Several pools in the St. Louis area invited people to take their dogs swimming on September 5th after the facilities closed to humans for the season, because I guess you don't really want dog hair in your pool. Although you probably don't want a lot of the things that are in the public pool.
Yeah.
And you deal with it anyway, right?
You know, I have 2 Frenchies, and I think they'd just sink. They'd just be like a rock right to the bottom.
You'd have to take them to the wading pool.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like
the baby pool.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
They kind of would waddle around like babies.
All right, weather-wise, looking pretty good. A little bit warmer tomorrow. High temp at 90. Thunderstorms back in late tomorrow night.
Final sports notes.
The Chiefs Ronald McDonald charity flag looks pretty good. Super Bowl 57. If you didn't get one, you can still get some on the Chiefs website.
Cool.
I'm going to do that. I really will. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Captioning on KOAM News is sponsored by